Hello.
We're live.
Yes, we are.
Uh, Hopefully everyone can hear us. Hopefully the sound sounds okay and good.
Never doubt. Always just go.
How is everyone?
I'm good. Sore and tired, but good to talk about D&D.
That's just life.
That is life. Damn right. Will we ever shut the fuck up about D&D? No, we won't. I refuse, no matter how many times Kai wishes we would.
D&D for life.
D&D for life.
Yeah. Ready for the stream? Yep. Hello everyone. There's a lot more that we put on the screen besides this. This is just a little bit of a talking point before we get into it. I just want to make sure everything works. How's the sound for everyone? Can everyone hear the music nice? Is it too loud? Is it overpowering us? Am I louder than Knife? Please, let me know because that would help make everything
Is
a
it,
lot
is
better.
it possible for you to be louder than me? I mean, you could mute me, and I'd still be louder than you.
Okay. Both Faye and Vox says we sound good. Nice. Wonderful. Oh boy. uh sorry for the late startup. I woke up super late today. That's my bad. What's up? Oh,
As usual.
yeah, look, we have a nice backdrop and everything. We're in a tavern.
Yeah, looks professional. How dare you?
I guess we should introduce ourselves just for those who watch this in the future or those who are new now. I'll go first, and then Knife, you can go. Hello, everyone. I'm Levy Lilycrown. Uh, I am a very new VTuber, I guess slash content creator, or if those are probably the same thing. I don't know. I play a wide variety of different kind of games. Love to interact with people, but one of my biggest passions is D&D. I love D&D. I've been a DM for roughly almost 4 years. I think I'm almost in the 4 year mark. I've played in a lot of campaigns. However, I've mostly been a DM than a player, and I feel like I know a decent deal about D&D and such. However, my knowledge in the game does not exceed my friend here. Introduce yourself, Knife.
Hi, I'm Knife. I am a barbarian-themed Wolf Boy VTuber who plays, again, a variety of things, but I tend to like to stick in the realm of fantasy and things medieval. Though I have been lately, we've been doing Spooktober because it's Halloween and October, so we have been playing a lot of those games, as well as playing Earth Defense Force every Saturday, where we try to save the Earth from frogs and giant bugs. And it's a heck of a time that we play over there with LB, and sometimes Zeph joins us, and then we have Nox, so it's a whole string of just fun on Saturdays. So I tend to be on a little bit later in the day, after 5 p.m. to about midnight, depending if I have to pick Kai up or not. And yeah, as for D&D experience, I've been a forever player, is the best way to describe it, where I tend to not be able to DM because everyone just wants to DM so badly. Like, we have the opposite group, where normally everybody's like, I want to be a player, and I don't want to DM. We have the opposite group where literally everybody wants to DM all the time.
Yep. That's all right.
Like, even right now, Levy's going to be taking a break from DMing and letting one of our other players DM for a little bit. I will see the 3 weeks that lasts.
Well, I'm taking a break from DMing in the main campaign. I plan on doing one-shots here and there on my Twitch and stuff. And hopefully I'll have Knife along. Box, and anyone else who wishes to join. I can really find, whether they're new or experienced. Also, I didn't mention it, as you mentioned it. I'm a druid.
And I'm a barbarian. We don't do cities.
Yeah, these too crowded. But we will do this nice tavern.
It's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's here. It's fine.
Yeah. Did you catch the name of the place? I did outside.
not.
You
Oh,
want
what's
to
it
know?
called?
You want to know the name of the tavern is?
Sure.
We are currently located at the Sit and Spin.
I still say Ice Cavern Tavern is like the gold tier of tavern names. Despite the fact that we insist on calling it the Chili Willy, the Ice Cavern Tavern is still better than the name we made up for it.
Yeah, you guys ruined all my name. Nah, not
Yep.
ruined. Enhanced.
No, ruined. Absolutely ruined.
Oh boy. But is there anything else that we need to get out? Are we missing
No,
anything?
I think Faye has been waiting forever for this moment,
That's fair.
and is sitting with ultimate anticipation of just please God rate my druid so I can tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah, at least Faye doesn't have to wait. Like last time, it was like a bunch. It was like what, 3 hours before? No, it was like 2 hours before we got into Druid, and we spent like an hour on Artificer.
You spent like the first hour on just Artificer alone.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby, welcome.
Damn right, Bobby, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
We're doing druids as the subclasses about which subclass is good and what subclass is not as good.
Now-
Because honestly, it's druid. They're all good.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I do want to mention: if anyone here watched our last stream of doing all the characters, you would notice that there is a particular blue slime girl that is not here. But Boxy is in chat. You all can say hi to her. The reason why Boxy is not here, if anyone's curious, is just because Boxy mostly plays a certain amount of classes, and their knowledge on Druid is not that wide and stuff. But don't worry, when we do fighter, oh, Boxy's gonna be here. Boxy's gonna tell us off. And Boxy, I mean Mochi. I don't know why I keep saying Boxy.
That's the name. It's the name you can read.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mithra. That's even your real name.
I honestly can change it right now, but I haven't changed it yet because I would have to go in and change all my banners, my scream schedule, and everything. So I'll do that tomorrow. But how long is the length this time? Hopefully not that long because Druid only has 7 subclasses.
We don't fucking know. We don't shut the fuck up.
Okay, but we've been talking for a while now. I know what you're all waiting for. Let's get into this. Let's move over and get into. I almost said like a crit roll thing. Let's get into tonight's episode of D&D tier list. Let's go. These two talk endlessly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Scene transition. There we go.
Nay.
Hopefully that looks okay for everyone, and the sound is also up to par. Woo team Levy, go team.
Yeah, it's the levy hour this time.
But yeah, I also have this scene that I made. Or no, I didn't make this. I bought this with play and stuff. It was personally made by me. Right now I have it on the Druid D&D Beyond just so I can reference things. Let me move it over to the actual tier list. Boop. There we go. There we go. So here's our tier list. We have a couple. We have our little icons down below that I put together. And
You drew these personally by hand with crayon.
I was gonna draw personal by hand, but I ran out of time sadly. But
I
next time.
honestly would. I would be the type of person who would draw them as bad as I can with crayon.
Yeah. When I did this, I was like, oh, they only have 7. Meanwhile, I look at Cleric, and Cleric has 16 subclasses. Oh boy.
Yeah, cleric's a little bitch.
Yeah. Can we give Druid more stuff, please?
Honestly, though, we'll get into why it's kind of fine the way it is.
Okay. So. Oh boy. Knife is an overachiever, while Levy is the man. Man's man. Ooh. Thank you very much, Bobby.
Listen, we don't talk about the stats.
Yep.
We don't talk about the kill death screen at the end.
Okay, so going into this, as you'll see, we have 7 subclasses right in front of us. We have Spores, Stars, Land, Moon, Shepherd, Wildfire, and Dreams. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Don't think I am.
We have Dream, Spores, Stars, Land, Moon, Shepherd, Wildfire. Sound good?
Sound good. All 7. So, which one do we crack at first? Also, no matter where they're placed on the tier list and such, in terms of what these tiers mean, none of these are bad, because the Druid is not bad. They're just in strengths. They're rating their strengths between each other. Like, let's say if we put any of them in D, if that even happens, it doesn't mean it's bad. No, because it's a Druid.
I do have a D tier in mind. I'm very curious. I'm very curious what you put down for S and what you put down for D.
Okay then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's start everything off with like a baseline. And I think the best one to rate off of for a baseline is Land, because it has so many different points to it.
We are starting from a grounded position.
Yeah,
it's kind of the plain class of D&D.
Oh boy.
Okay. Start where your roots are. All right.
So, Land, Circle of the Land. Let's get into it. Knife, you start.
You want me to just read what you get as the class?
Yes.
All right. So the first thing you get.
What was that? We can actually do it this time because we only have 7.
Yeah. So what you be starting to get once you get this subclass, which I know that's level 2. I'm fairly certain the class features you get at level 2. Come on. Yeah, Druid Circle level 2. All right, so what you get is a bonus cantrip. So when you choose the circle level 2, you get 1 additional cantrip. This one doesn't count against the ones you know. You get Natural Recovery, which is basically when you take a short rest, you can actually get some spell slots back, similar to Arcana Recovery that wizards get. You get spells, which I'm not going to read out because we'll be here all day. But this is the interesting part of the class, is where you get to basically choose the land that you're from. And then when you reach 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level, you get a set of spells depending from the area that you are. 6th level, you can move through non-magical terrain with no extra cost. And if you pass through like plants, you're not slowed by them and you don't take damage from them. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created, like Entangle or Spike Growth or something like that. It does say
specifically non-magical plants.
Yeah, from the first one, the land stride. So if it's like you're coming across like a ice or something, you just walk right across it. But if it's like magically put ice, then you at least you get advantage on the saving throw. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Level 10, you can't be charmed or frightened by elements, Fae, and you are immune to poison and disease. I think the you can't be charmed or frightened by Fae is the really, really strong one there, because that's what they're all about.
I can't think of any elements that have a charming effect or really a frightening.
Oh, it's because we don't really play with higher level, and elements tend to be more higher level.
Yeah, but I do look at the elements a lot. At least the 4 basic ones. I don't really see them having a frightening effect.
I'm sure there
are some, like the super high level one, like the Tempest.
I would know if I was a DM a lot, but I don't know because I never get to see the monster manual. And then the last one at 14th level is when you reach 14th level, the creatures of the natural world sense your connection to nature and become hesitant to attack you. When a beast or plant attacks you, that creature makes a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, and then they have to choose a different target if they fail. if they succeed, they're immune to the effect for 24 hours. So basically, just makes animals and such just not want to fight you because you're Captain Planet. And if they kill Captain Planet, it's just like all of the the wolf's gonna bite Captain Planet in the knee, and then all the other wolves are like, dude, why? But yeah. So those are the abilities you get as a land druid. And the one thing I will say that definitely plays into the druid's subclass in it being good or not is the fact that it caps out at level 14. So you get all of your subclass features by level 14, whereas a lot of them can go up to like 18, 19. What's a monster manual? Yeah. It's only the instructions that tell you how to defeat every enemy.
Oops. I can hear the cat. He's angry. So, looking at this, the land druid is obviously, you know, based off of its land and such. So it's very important that you're also inside of your native location.
I don't necessarily think it's that's the important part. The important part about this class is the spell list. Is the what choices do you get, and or do these spells work with the campaign that you're getting? It's
Well,
what was that?
let's take a look at the spells. Not in depth, but just like, oh, this is what they get. Because we could definitely rate them off of that.
We could, but in the gist of what the caveat is these are the spells that are given to you in addition to your spell list. So you always have these prepared. Some of these spells that are actually on your spell list, and some of them are unique to the druid spell list. So actually getting them is nice because you can't obtain them in other means other than multiclassing. But again, you could choose, for example, like Forest, where you get Bark Skin and Spider Climb, and then you can get Call Lightning and Plant Growth. Out of just those four, the only one that's like Plant Growth is I've heard it's really, really good in terms of just like locking down enemies. But again, was it you get Divination, Free Movement, Commune with Nature, and Tree Stride. You can also compare that with Coast, or I think Coast, which is Mirror Image, Misty Step, and then Water Breathing and Water Walk. If you never play a campaign with water, it's like that doesn't necessarily help you. But even if you play a water campaign, and then you pick Forest, which gives you Call Lightning and Spider Climb, which is like, you fall out of your ship and then you Spider Climb back into the ship, that'll still help you. So it's less about the location in the campaign or where you're from, but just like, does the spell list actually help you? And I think the one thing to docs about the this particular class is, while it's pretty basic and it is the easiest to understand class that you don't need to keep track of, so it's the most inviting for new players who want to play Druid. This big trap of, oh, I want to pick Coast, but it doesn't help me. I want to pick Mountain, but it doesn't help me. Or I want to pick Underdark, but it doesn't help me. Like, you get trapped with spells that might never come up, and your subclass isn't actually helping you, which is an easy mistake to make when you're a new player. That's my only docs against it, in the sense that, like, it's the spell focused class. This class is all about the spell casting, and really not much else in terms of what you get. It's all about the spells.
So, hello, cat.
is going nuts today.
One second. Very old cat, and he likes to make himself known. Looking into the chat and stuff, Faye says, I played Forest, but Underdark looks really interesting. Just take a look at Underdark real quick. I always forget that Underdark is like a thing, part of the land stuff, because when I think of the land druid, I think of, biomes, and then Underdark is just, yeah, it
is technically its own thing. It is technically its own little biome.
Web, Gracious Form, Stinking Cloud, Greater Invisibility, Stone Shape, Cloud Kill, and Insect.
Yeah, there's some pretty good ones on there.
Why is Dark Vision not in here? The spot that gives you Dark Vision.
Actually, before we do this, I'm gonna just go over here. I mean, again, It's probably just because it's a native thing, but yeah, that is one of those weird ones. We'll get to a bunch of things where it's like, why isn't this added to the list? That's weird.
They're pretty cool. I will say, with the new Tasha's book and the new spells and how they updated certain spell lists of certain classes, it would have been nice to see an update to this list.
I think Tachas really should have updated all of the bad subclasses, like the bad old subclasses.
But being a land druid, you do get to choose. You do get these really cool spells and indicative of where your location is. And like Knife said, you don't necessarily have to be in your land. If you're playing a war campaign, being a coast druid is really nice, actually. Being able to have control water, welcome water, and misty step, as well as water breathing, helping you with your. Let's say if you're running a pirate campaign, it's not a bad choice. Not bad.
No,
And
it's not.
I think that should be really fun. I never played a land druid, to be honest with you. A lot of options.
Well, to be fair, you never really get to play.
That is true. I remember. I'm usually a DM. Not always a
Yeah.
DM.
I think the thing that's going to appeal about this particular class, though, right, is the fact that you get stuff that you don't actually get. So while you might look at it and go, well, why isn't dark vision on this? Well, druids get dark vision, but what they don't get is web. They don't get web. So this gives you a spell you don't have access to.
Yeah. Okay. That is true.
Mm-hmm. That's where some of them shine, is when you get something that you didn't get access to it, much like the web. But yeah, this is, I mean, what are the druids are spellcasters, and this is the spellcastery of the druids, which is why it's nice.
It's not bad. It's a good base, I feel.
Yeah, it's a
Although
great base.
it says they played a forest gnome and druid.
Yep.
Forest gnome. I need to play a gnome.
You're a coward. you're
I
playing
am
an
a
auto
coward.
gnome, but you're just gonna use the auto gnome more stats on a warforge
Exactly.
because you're a coward.
Real quick. Oops. Oh wait. Sorry. Hello, welcome. I am a fish wolf. Did I spot a druid stream? Nice. Also, the person on the right kind of looks like a druid, so it fits the title. Or
They are a
the
druid.
title fits. I am a druid. I'm Livy Ludicrown. I am a druid. Hello.
The wolf is a fishy.
Wolf is a fishy. But yeah, welcome. Hope you enjoy the stream. Right now we are on Land Druid, and after going through it for a bit, as I said before, Land Druid seems to just be a perfect baseline for just perfect base. So on the tier list, if I can manage my clickings of different things, because I'm all over the place. There we go. Okay, so Circle of Land. Let's see where we can put this. Not a lot much to really discuss on this one, as it's just me, it's like the first druid subclass, you know what I mean?
And Reese's will not shut the fuck up, which makes it so hard.
Sorry for the cat in the background. So Circle of Land, where do we put it? Again, if anything is placed in D, it doesn't mean it's bad entirely because it's still a druid. For me, I would say druid. Circle of Land goes in B. Base. Flat.
I would also agree with that. I feel the one thing about the Circle of Land that really helps it is the one thing that D&D kind of like lacks is the later game stuff. So as you get later in the games, you start to get a better build. The one thing that Circle of Land does really well is it gives you a whole bunch of shit that's good early. You get an extra cantrip, which is great. You get natural recovery, which gives you your spell slots back when you take a short rest. You get access to some really good spells, and a lot of them have good spells early. So it's a thing that kicks on really quick, and that's nice, especially when you're starting at the low levels. That said, it doesn't really have that wow factor that separates it from anything else.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that one special feature that's like crazy good. It just has more spells and more spell slots.
Yeah, it's what the champion is to the fighter, the champion fighter.
You're just better
it's
at doing
more
the thing
fighter. It's better at what you
already
do.
doing.
So this one is just you're better at what you do. It's not bad, and yeah, it's me. Okay, we angered everyone.
Yep.
We're in hot water. All right.
I mean, this one. All right, the druid, the land druid. As for like most of these go, yeah, this was gonna take the B slot. I think most people agree that this generally is just it's good. It's not great. It's not bad.
Yeah, and at the end, wherever we place things, at the end, they might be moved around.
Oh yeah, they definitely will be.
Okay. So Circle of Land is done. Let's move on to the next one. Which one do we do? Okay. First person to type it in chat, we'll do that one. Go.
E for beautiful flowers.
Yep, B for beautiful flowers.
I played druid a ton, and I got a druid in one of my games at the moment. They are just great overall, but some subclasses very much outclass the others. You got some that are good anywhere, and some that are great depending on the setting, campaign style, or lackluster, and it doesn't fit.
That is true.
That's very true.
That is very, very true.
The one thing I will say about the druids that I like about it is that the subclasses are very different.
Yeah. The best thing to remedy that, though, is discussions with the DM. Very much so. And I see the first one. Faye got it first, which they typed in stars. So we are doing stars druid next, which actually they might be. Oh no, that's for something in the future. All right, so stars druid. D2. No, okay. Let's move our way over to stars druid, shall we?
Yeah, we're starting strong.
I also, real quick, I almost debated of putting the Forge Druid on here. I almost debated.
I would have zero idea what it is.
Yeah. But Circle of Stars. Would you like to take the honors?
Sure thing. So the Circle of Stars, at second level, you get a bunch of benefits from your subclass. You know the guidance cantrip. You have Guiding Bolt automatically prepared and can use it as long as you have a spell slot. And you can cast Guiding Bolt without expending a spell slot equal to the number of times of your proficiency bonus. And you regain all of these on a long rest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what if you
Not only
upcast?
that.
Wait, what if you
Not
upcast it?
only that. Because again, you hit this level 2. Not only that, you have a bonus action in which you can expend your wild shape to take a starry form rather than transforming into a beast. You have 3 options. An archer option that lets you, when you use your bonus action on your next subsequent turns, you can make a range attack where it has a range of 60 feet and it deals a radiant damage of 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. You also have Chalice, which when you cast a spell slot that restores HP to you or another creature in 30 feet, you can regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. And then Dragon, which is a constellation that you make an intelligence or wisdom check on a constitution saving throw. You make an intelligence or wisdom check or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, and you can treat the roll as a 9 or lower on d20 as a 10. So as long as you have constitution anything, if you're pretty much going to be maintaining concentration. It's like almost guaranteed.
Also, real quick, we missed over something, which was a star map. If you lose a map, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to magically create a replacement. This ceremony can be performed during a short or long rest and destroys the previous map.
Yeah, it's basically cool. it's a small little map that you have. It's a little star map that could be of various different things. Kind of to your imagination what it looks like. But it's a spell focus. You can create a spell focus. So if your spell focus gets lost or destroyed, you can just create a new one.
Yep. It's Toast. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. And Fish says, yeah, every subclass can be played completely different, and it's why I like them so much. The versatility in RP opportunities is one of the greatest things in the game. Fully agree. And wow, starting out really strong at second level. You're just at second level for a Stars Druid.
At second level.
Like this right here is a perfect a perfect way to do subclasses mixing with the wild shape mechanic. Yep. I love this so much, and it's so cool. I wish they played around with this a lot more. Like, a lot,
I think
lot more.
we definitely did something wrong with this subclass in one of our campaigns, and that's the Chalice version, which is when you use the goblet, I think we added the healing to the healing. It heals you.
Yeah, but still good. That's so good.
It's still good, yeah. Especially if you're in the front line taking damage. It's like you can heal 2 people at once.
Yeah. It says I played the Warforged Druid. They're basically a robot version of the Moon Druid. So whenever you rank Moon Druid and Warforged Circle. Oh, I see what you mean. The Forge Circle and the Moon Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, as we said, second level. Wow. Just as I mentioned, by the way, you shed light.
Yeah.
You're a torch as well.
You're also a torch.
Right. Oh boy.
But it's just a little light when you're in your star form. It's flavor text. Generally speaking, if you're going to be using this, you are probably in combat.
Yeah, but still really nice.
It could be useful.
Now moving on from again 2nd level, 6th level.
Yes.
Go ahead.
6th level, you get Cosmic Omen. When you finish a long rest, you can consult your store map for omens. When you do so, you roll a die. Until you finish the next long rest, you gain the access of a special reaction based on whether you rolled an even or odd number. If you rolled an even number, when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, you can use a reaction to roll a d6 and add the number. If it's woe, you subtract the number. So you roll a number at the... Jesus, these cats are going nuts. So you roll a number on your long rest. If it's an even number or odd number, you get a negative effect or a positive effect that you can give out to your allies or enemies. You can use this equal number times your proficiency bonus. So you're basically you basically have one D&D's Bardic Inspiration as a feature.
Stars came out with Tasha.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Pretty much everything in Druid was like, okay, and then Tasha came out, and it's like just 1-2 bangers for Druid.
I like the idea of Tabaxi Stars Druid. Oh, I like that. Sorry, cat. But yeah, 6th level, pretty good ability.
Oh, it's amazing.
Especially since it's equal to your proficiency bonus, since that's what they're starting to do nowadays, which makes a lot of the Tasha subclasses really good because they really play around with that.
Yeah. 10th level, you consult your starry form, the constellation of your starry form improve. The 1d8 archer becomes 2d8 while the dragon is flying. While the dragon is active, you have a flying speed and can hover. Moreover, when you start each one of your turns in starry form, you can change which constellation, so you can switch it on the fly. At the start of each turn, so yeah, you can switch it out. You don't have it doesn't waste any of your action to do so.
At 10th level.
Oh yeah, yep. At 10th level.
Yeah, at 10th level, that's not entirely too high for a campaign.
No, that's toward the end of the campaign, but that's a pretty good ability. Again, it's an overall drastic improvement. Your d8s become 2d8s. If you're using the dragon one, you can fly, and you can switch out which chalice you're using. It's a pretty good skill.
Yeah.
And then at 14, yeah, at 14, while you're in your starry form, you become partially incorporeal and corporeal, and you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So while you're in your star form, you're a barbarian.
Yeah. And I love how that's all you get from 14, because everything else below it is like really good. So at 14th level, it's just like here's a little thing, even though it's like a really good thing.
Yeah. So one thing you're probably gonna notice with the Druid is that they're 14th level, because each class I think gets a level where it's just like you're like, oh, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. That's okay. Like Barbarian is like level 3. It's like, oh, that's amazing. And then you hit level 6 and you're like, oh, okay. Unless you're an Ancestral Guardian, in which case, fuck you. But yeah, the 14th ability, which again, 14th ability, really high level, so you're almost never gonna see it, is the one that's just like, oh, that's neat. And this one's still good.
Yeah. Wow. Really good points about this subclass. They give you a lot of cool stuff early. A lot of cool stuff early. It plays around with the wild shape mechanic really, really well, and I love it. And I hope they do more of them, more like that in the future. And it's very good combat. It's very good combat.
Yes.
But let's move into the rankings of where we put this. So, Stars Druid, for me, I think it's S tier.
So for me, as a player who's actually played this class, this subclass, it is insanely versatile. You have the option of basically switching out your playstyle on the fly. We went into the game and I was like, I'm gonna play as this archer chick who uses radiant arrows and hits people with guiding bolt and gives other people advantage and all this other stuff. And then we sat down at the table and everyone started playing, and it was just like, we're all combat focused. And I'm like, oh, well, now I'm a support character. And I just switched it like no big deal. I just started playing something else. Also, another huge thing for this class is you get an action, a bonus action, and a reaction. You use your entire character sheet without feats or anything.
Yeah. Which...
Yeah. You get Guiding Bolt for free at low levels. That's amazing. Granted, they use like it's a first level spell, so later levels is not going to be that big of a deal. But it's on your spell list. If you want to increase it to 4th level, 5th level, 6th level, you just can, and you get it, and you get Guidance, which is one of the best cantrips in the game.
The fact that you can cast Guidance also equal to your proficiency bonus. Now, my question about that is it just does it cast at level 1?
Which one? The Guiding Bolt?
Yeah, the Guiding Bolt with your proficiency bonus, because it doesn't expend a spell slot.
It casts it at level 1 with your proficiency bonus. However, that being said, it's on your spell list. You could just upcast it if you use a spell slot. The only spell you get with this class is Guiding Bolt, except for the cantrip, which is Guidance.
Which is not a bad spell.
The only spell they give you is Guiding Bolt. That being said, the spell they give you is Guiding Bolt.
Yeah, it's not a bad spell. Guiding Bolt's really good. It does good damage and gives your teammates advantage, or at least the first hit. Like, not bad. It's Guiding Bolt. Yeah.
The
Circle of Stars is S tier.
Is so good.
It's amazing. It's well made. So well made. So well made. And the theming around it is so cool too. The fact that you turn into these constellations is amazing, and you can roleplay it so well with just like starry avatar-like forms, and just be like, I turn to a starry bear, or like actually a dragon, like a starry dragon that shoots off these beams and just flies. Like, I love it. It's so good. And honestly, it was tempting, as it was actually one of the classes I consider playing in this upcoming campaign that I'm going to be a player in. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, S tier. I don't think anyone's mad about that.
No, this is an interesting one. The way I've heard this class described is it's an A tier class in terms, because there are people who've chosen their S tiers. There's one option that was very, very interesting to hear about. But this is an A tier class that's jumping into S tier, like it's just reaching S tier. But for me personally, I had no problems with this class. I had a blast playing it. I could see where people would say it's A class and that there's another class that is S class. But for me personally, I had so much fun with it. there was no complaints.
Yeah. And again, if you have other players and stuff that are different things, you can just switch on the fly.
Yeah, and the other thing too is you have Guiding Bolt, right? You use the Archer version, and then you shoot, and then you hit the creature with Guiding Bolt, and then your arrow has advantage.
Yeah,
it's insane, and you get all that shit level 2.
Yeah, all that level 2.
Plus, yes, as Wolf says, plus the 3rd star option makes it so you literally cannot fail a concentration save. Like, druids need concentration.
Yeah.
And in the single hit, which makes concentration spells good, you could frontline without an issue. The other thing about this too, the other thing that's insane about this, every single thing you are given to by this subclass does not require concentration.
Yeah. Now there is something though that is to bring up, and I believe, and that is the fact that their wild shape changes so drastically and such, which is really nice. But can we talk about how their wild shape is also a bonus action?
It's a bonus action.
Yeah.
That's insane, because most of them is an action.
But their starry form thing does not give them temporary hit points, or I say temporary hit points, but what I mean is like they're not transforming into a creature that has hit points that once go to 0, you're back to yourself. You know what I mean? To really be that tanky. This is more of the aggression. They don't get that like barrier to their HP, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for
Which
me,
is fine because they gain so much else.
Druid is what? It's a very, very heavy, hardcore battlefield control subclass. Oh, sorry, class that has the ability to do some exploration with their wild shape. This class gives you support abilities, so it gives you some healing, but it's very, very supportive. So it also gives you a niche because you do have access to certain support spells, but the Druid isn't a support character; it's a battlefield utility sort of. It's a battlefield controller.
Also, this is a real quick question. How do I change D&D Beyond to dark mode so I don't blind people?
I have no idea.
Oh well.
Every time I look this up, it's always in white.
But yeah, we have other classes to talk about. Our subclasses.
Supportive healing.
The Stars Druid, S tier. Everyone okay with that?
I'm fine with that. It might change later on, but
might.
as of right now, I have no complaints about it.
Okay, so with that being said, let's go to the next one. First one to type in the chat, we go to it. So start typing.
Shepherd.
Wow, that was fast. You had that copy and pasted. Also, Shepherd.
Let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room, the Shepherd.
I also want to preference this by all the campaigns I've played where I had a Druid player. They just keep summoning. I had a player summon a bunch of crabs, and it was the bane of my existence. Well, let's move on to Shepherd, shall we?
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So Shepherd. All right. So you don't get any spells from this subclass. You gain the ability to converse with beasts and many fae. You learn to speak, read and write. I'm probably gonna say this wrong. Sylvan? Sylvan? I don't know how to say that one. In addition, beasts can understand your speech. You gain the ability to decipher their noises and motions. Most beasts lack the intelligence to convey or understand sophisticated concepts, but a friendly beast can relay what it's seen or heard in the recent past. This ability doesn't grant you friendship with beasts, though you can combine it with ability to you can combine this ability with gifts of curry favor with them, as you would with any non-player character. I don't know why my brain got scrambled by the word curry, because I'm just like, you can combine this with gifts of food, but not food. Then also at second level, you get spirit totem. So starting at second level, you can call forth nature spirits to influence the world around you. As a bonus action, which is again a wild shape bonus action effect, you can magically summon an incorporeal spirit to a point you can see within 60 feet of you. The spirit creates an aura of 30 feet radius around it. It counts as neither a creature nor an object, though it has a spectral appearance that the creature represents. As bonus action, you can move the spirit 60 feet to a point you can see. The spirit persists for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Oh, okay, so this one actually doesn't take part in your wild shape. It just is. It just exists. My bad. The effect of the spirit's aura depends on the type of spirit you summon. The options below. A bear spirit, you grant temporary hit points to you and your allies, and you might with its might and endurance. Each creature of your choice in this aura, when the spirit appears, to gain temporary hit points equal to 5 plus your druid level. In addition, you and your allies gain advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws while in the aura. Hawk spirit. The Hawk Spirit is a consummation of the hunter, aiding you and your allies with its keen sight. When a creature makes an attack roll in the target's aura spirit, you can use a reaction to have it grant advantage on the attack roll. In addition, when your allies have advantage in wisdom perception checks while in the aura. Unicorn Spirit. The Unicorn Spirit lends its protection to those nearby. You and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the Spirit's aura. In addition, if you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points, and any creature inside or outside the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura, you also regains hit points to your druid level. At 6th level, and I think what usually people go to as if this is like the most amazing thing ever, starting at level 6, beasts and fae that conjure are more resilient than normal. Any beast or fae summoned or created by a spell that you cast grants the following benefits. 1, the creature appears to have more hit points than normal. Appears with more hit points than normal. 2 extra hit points per hit dice. And 2, the damage from its natural weapons is considered magical for the purposes of overcoming immunity and resistance to non-magical attacks and damage. At level 10, you get Your totem spirit safeguards the beast and fae that you called for your magic. When a beast or fae that you summoned or created with the spell ends its turn in your totem, that creature regains a number of hit points equal to half your druid level. Faithful Summons. Starting at 14th level, the nature spirits you commune with to protect you when you're most defenseless. If you're reduced to 0 HP and are incapacitated against your will, you can immediately gain the benefits of Conjure Animals as if you were casting as a 9th level spell. It summons 4 beasts of your choice. If the challenge rating of 2 or lower, the conjured beasts appear within 20 feet of you. They receive no commands from you. They protect you from harm and attack your foes. This spell lasts for 1 hour, requiring no concentration or until you dismiss it with no action required. Once you use this feature again, you cannot do this until you finish a long rest.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Oh. A quick read through. The totem mechanic.
All right. We want to read what Wolf said. It's a whole list.
Was it?
I wanted to see what Wolf said. It's a whole list.
Oh. Sure. As a shepherd druid soloed and druid soloed in an ancient green dragon by myself while the rest of my party was long resting to gather their strength for the fight. I had other plans, so I decided to just go and solo it by myself. The DM was for some reason, which keeps censoring the A word. The DM was an ass, and I was going to leave the game after the session, but decided to leave my group with a parting gift. I sold the dragon for them, and the DM kicked me from the game after. Mission successful.
Okay. That is an example about my biggest problem with this class.
Go on.
My biggest problem with this class, we can talk about it when we get to the tier listing. But I want to hear what you have to say about this class because I think a lot of people rate this high.
Real quick, as for everyone else in the chat, summon owls. Don't open this can of worms.
My God.
It's a lot of worms. I apologize for my cat. Hey, Tape. Welcome. Hot take. The 14th level ability of this subclass is just a worse version of 11th level ability of Fey Wanderer Ranger. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Olivia, your thoughts. My thoughts? As a DM who has to deal with players summoning things so frequently in this subclass, it basically allows you to really do that and keep your summons there for way longer. Summons bog down the combat a lot in terms of making the combat go slow. Now, I don't entirely hate that, where I'm not gonna tell my player to not play as like a summoner and stuff. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. And the campaign I had previously, I had 2 players that were both semi-druids, because multiclassing, who summoned creatures. And as a DM, I try to even out my damage between everyone in the game. 2 other creatures that do a lot of damage and just like oh yeah, they had a bunch of different creatures and stuff with different HP pools and just like managing them all like action economy. Action economy is important in D&D 5e. And oh boy, having a lot of things on your side, whether they may be small or not, helps you immensely. But what I think so far about certain, let's talk about totems first. I think the totem mechanic is really cool. I like the idea of like placing these totems in different places, keeping them up with you, and just having like a shaman-esque druid in the party is really cool. It reminds me a lot of like World of Warcraft and Shaman, where they put down their totems and buff their party. I think it's really cool. The one thing that bothers me about it though is the fact that if I'm reading here correctly, where is it? Where is it? This right here. The spirit persists for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. That's not entirely bad, because every short rest you can just, oh, here's another totem, guys. Here's another totem. I would probably like this to be proficiency bonus. Maybe that's a bit too strong on my part. I mean, this class is already strong enough. But that's just a me thing, since I like the whole uses based on proficiency bonus. But were you asking my thoughts on the class entirely? Knife?
Yeah, go for it. Where would you rate this game and all that jazz?
As a player, summoning creatures is cool. As a DM, I hate dealing with summons. It's so frustrating, but I get the likeness towards it. But
Okay.
I want to hear your piece before we put it somewhere.
Okay, so the biggest mechanically speaking, of what this does is it takes one of the most pendulum swinging mechanics in this game and either buffs it to a gray that's like terrible, or it just whatever. When you cast Conjure Animals, it's not you choose, it's random. It's supposed to be random. It's supposed to be the DM chooses it for you.
That is true.
So that alone makes it very unreliable. But also, as one of the people pointed out, I think it was Tate pointed out, this subclass relies a lot on pre-Tasha summon spells. So in other words, the new spells for summoning that actually makes summoning kind of cool, about like, oh, you get to summon this creature. It's one creature. It's almost like a Beastmaster pet, but it's not. You summon it and it's there and it's great. You don't get to buff it, other than make the attacks magical. The hit dice thing, it doesn't have hit dice, so you can't buff it without hit dice.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have hit dice.
Yeah. As for the features that you get, right, with the bonus action, the support stuff, you get the bear stuff, which is great. Everybody gets temporary hit points equal to your druid level, and then your allies have advantage on strength checks. Great. The hawk, you can use your reaction to give somebody advantage. Could be good if there's a rogue. Perception checks advantage for a minute in combat. Do you really need that? It's very situational. I feel like you have other answers to that. The spirit, lens of protection, you and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures. So again, why would you need advantage on perception checks when this one gives you advantage on the ability to detect creatures? Seems weird. If you cast a spell that restores hit points, each creature in your aura of your choice regains hit points equal to your druid level. Really good if you're high level. Not the greatest thing if you're low level. Then the Mighty Summoner, which is like the greatest thing ever. It's the thing that like you summon all your shit and everything gets super boosted. If something hits you, you could lose it. All of that summon goes away. Again, this class is so pendulum swinging as of being like insanely broken and just not useful at all.
Yeah, I can never see it. Yeah.
Also, you know where creatures are while in combat unless they hide. Yeah, you know where creatures are.
Yeah.
They don't even know how stealth works.
As some real quick things reading through the chat, Wolf says that their message got blocked. I'm not sure why it got blocked. I'm not sure which one it was. Odd. And I do agree with Tape says about the pre-touch summon spells. However, some of the summon spells are really good, and they're still good and to use and helpful. But again, they don't get buffed with the HP because it appears with more hit dice to 2 extra hit points equal to their hit die. Those summon spells, the creatures that they summon, do not have hit dice. So by rules written, it doesn't affect them.
Yep.
But one of my players used it in my campaign. I let them buff it. It's fine. I let them.
Yeah. To make a point about whoop stuff, about the level 20, right? You know, you heal somebody for 20 points of HP. Just by casting a first level Cure Wounds. Just level 1 Cure Wounds. The issue I have with that is it's level 20. Yeah. Again, most of our campaigns end at 9-8. So, is 9-8 respectable for healing? Yeah, it is. But you also get option, like, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. My god, the cats are so distracting. They're wrestling right now, like full hardcore wrestling.
I can only hear the jingle.
A German suplex.
Real quick though,
so
I can get through the chat and questions. Wolf says summons in 5e are really powerful, and they got to make sure the DM is cool with it, or they can clog up battles. That's I agree with that. My player, I try to tell them you're fine to do summoning, be fast with it in combat and maneuvering them and such and such. Also, the summoning animals and stuff is determined by the DM. I'm gonna be honest with you. As a DM, I have 10 million other things I'm dealing with. I let my players choose the animals, which makes it really strong. And onto other things. Unicorn is busted unless can insta-kill your summons. You can heal them off the full, basically. And while you're hiding in a hole, cast Cure Wounds on yourself, healing all your spirits for free. Yeah. Yeah, you already read that while not hiding. If your DM does not allow you to get some more HP from the... Oh, and find another group. I read that. The turn economy is OP even if it's 8 crabs. Yeah. As long as you're a shepherd druid, as long as your shepherd druid is up, no one's gonna die. And I would die with them alive. Every turn healing. Wait a minute. Did the spirits of give their effects every turn?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh.
So yeah, so like
I read it wrong. Ooh. My interpretation of it, idea of it was. Wow.
Yeah. As long as they're in the aura, the effect goes off.
So in bear, constant temporary hit points.
I think that the
Is 5 plus your druid level?
Yeah.
Hit points every turn?
I want to say that one's a one-off, but the unicorn is constant.
It doesn't
Because
specifically.
the unicorn has an activation. The bear's activation is that you summon it.
Yeah. It doesn't specifically say it's one time off. That's interesting.
Yeah. The bear's a single time you. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it is. Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
unicorn is insane if you want to play as a healer. It's just crazy healing.
Yeah.
That being said,
As well as being a summoner on top of it.
mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Holy fucking shit, Reese's.
He wants hugs. But yeah, my opinion on this, it's really strong. It's really strong. I personally hate dealing with summons, but I know my players love them, and I'm not gonna take that away from them. It is a pain to deal with, but huh?
in a what was it? In a world where Twilight Cleric exists, Bear Totem for every turn. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm sorry. I've only ever seen this one be played twice and such. And I haven't played it myself, but I can see the potential of this and how strong it is. So if we're going to go into the ratings of Circle Shepherd, Circle of the Shepherd, it does very much depend on the DM and such. I guess for me, because I'm very more lenient with my players and having fun in terms of like, yeah, I'll buff those those summons that don't normally get buffed, and I let my players choose the animals, and I believe my players not to go crazy. But for me, you can still lose everything by just getting hit and losing your concentration. I'm almost at like A or just about S. Just because of those factors. It's not weak, it's pretty strong.
The subclass can be abused easily, so you got to be careful with who you let play.
That is
Summons
true.
are very powerful. They just slow the combat too much to be viable realistically. Unless they know exactly what to do and can do combat for the animals fast, it's tough even for you.
Yeah.
Phaedrus is A. So this is the funny thing for me.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of like the issues I have with this class is a lot of the excuses for it. It's your DM has to be fun. You have to be able to choose your summons. You have to do this. There are problems that could have. While like on paper, this is a very, very on paper class. Sounds amazing. Like on paper, this class sounds awesome. Who the fuck is calling me?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, on paper, this class sounds amazing. That being said, if you have one more summon, then go at once. As somebody mentioned earlier, they soloed an ancient green dragon with this class. D&D is a party game in which you are meant to play the game with others, and this entire class ruins the game for the other players and the DM because of just how much you have the opportunity just to bog down combat and just take so long to do anything. Plus, it ruins the other people's experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it exactly what Wolf said. It's an S on paper and a D in practice.
Yeah.
This is my D tier class.
Yeah.
This is the class I would put at the bottom. Because while it's good, while you have the summons and all the summons get buffed and everything like that, you can have 18,000 direwolves with 4 billion health. You trip on a rock and lose the concentration check, they're all gone.
Yeah. And also, I agree with making your players feel like your party members feel like they're not really there and stuff. They're not important. Whereas like you're the shepherd and it's like, okay, guys, your backup proceeds to summon a bunch of dinosaurs or whatever. It's like, oh, okay then.
Well, again, as Tape you say, while the combat part gets soloed, the kind of like any ranger can solo the exploration part. You're a druid, you already can solo the exploration part. You can already solo the exploration part with the entire party. You're the druid.
Yeah, I think that's the thing right there, where like D&D has classes that have skills in certain places. You know, stealthing for rogues, the face for bard, you know, charisma based stuff like that. And it's good for those classes that have those things for the party. But when your thing is combat as a whole to the point where you can deal with multiple creatures, it's like it's probably the one thing you don't want to be the best in terms of dealing with everything as like a party. You know what I mean? You yourself should not be the party.
Yeah. Just as rules is written. Again, this is just rules is written. This class has the potential to be amazing, like you said.
Yes.
You put down your unicorn thing, and in the 30-foot radius, everything that's in there can get healed. Great. You're also in a 30-foot radius. You're just fireball. Just constant fireballs in the 30-foot radius. Everything in there is going to get damaged. Okay, great. But you could summon things, and then all those things get tons of hit points. You can put down Baron, and you can get them all jacked up and crazy and all that other stuff. Cool. You get hit, it's all gone. Like, this class varies between being super OP and broken and not useful at all, just so drastically that it's hard to see if it's really, really good or really, really bad. But also, it just ruins the experience for everybody else by you throwing summons out.
It really feels like the balancing aspect of this is based on your constitution. If you'll break it or make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was abusing the level 14 mechanic. I knocked myself out, had a NPC give me health potion, and then cast summon beast. So I summoned 32 giant owls and hid in a hole in caverns. Then let them deal with the dragon. When the majority of the 16 owl regular concentration had almost died. It's just like abusing mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, as is the mechanics is what you do. It's just like, did you know that the Echo Knight you can summon your thing and you can send it in, and it's just someone just sitting outside the dungeon letting your Echo Knight go in and fight everything. It's like, you could do that. It's just mechanically boring.
Yeah, it's mechanically boring. So you say D?
This is my D tier class. If I had to give a D tier class to Druid, this is mine, because usually when a Druid shows up is like, I'm going to play as a Shepherd, the DM just goes,
Tape says, you're the reason I give levels of exhaustion per knockout. I do that too.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, homebrew, like, out of all of the classes, homebrew is needed for this one.
Yeah, eventually they'll kill everything. What about C? Again, it's not a bad class. It really wavers.
It's not a bad class.
It really
Again,
wavers.
this is Druid, right? This is Druid. Just because I gave it D doesn't make it bad. It's still Druid. Like,
Yeah.
The Druids are great. A D tier Druid is still like one of the best things.
Would you say for C? Because of that flippy floppy of
it
could be
is
S,
flippy.
it could be.
I'm okay with C. It is insanely floppy.
Yeah, and to
It
everyone,
can either be amazing or terrible.
yeah, and to everyone again, this is
susceptible.
depending on the context of the campaign and stuff and the DM. This could be here, this could be down here, it could be up here. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
But that is Circle Shepherd. That is Circle Shepherd. So let's move on to the next one quickly. Go, guys, get in there. I'll try to get from another person. Hey, Tape is fast. Moon. Okay, I can't show it on Twitch because I'll get in trouble. I thought that joke was funny. Moving on. Moon Druid.
You ain't got an ass. You what?
Okay.
Right.
Moon Druid. You want me to read this one?
Right.
It's really short.
Yeah. All right. Combat wild shape when you second
I
level.
said, do you want me to read it?
Oh, you can read it if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know you've been reading a lot.
Yeah.
Circle of the Moon. Combat wild shape. When you choose a circle at level 2, you gain the ability to use wild shape as of your turn on your turn as a bonus action rather than an action. Cool. Amazing. I like it. Nice. Additionally, when you transform by wild shape, you can use a bonus action to expend one spell slot to regain 1d8 hit points per level of the spell slot expended. Yeah. I like it. Circle forms. The right of your circle, sorry, grants you the ability to transform into more dangerous animal forms. Starting at second level, you can use your wild shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1. You ignore the maximum CR column for the beast shaped table, but must abide by the other limitations, such as flying, swimming, yada yada. Starting at 6th level, you can transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as your Druid level divided by 3 rounded down. That's why is it so much like a mouthful like that?
Because it's math.
A math equation there. Primal Strike. Starting at 6th level, your attacks in beast form count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances and immunities of non-magical attacks and damage. To non-magical attacks and damage. Circle forms. The right of your circle grants you the ability to transform into more dangerous animal forms. Starting at 6th level, you can transform into a beast with a challenge rating of as high as your Druid level divided by 3 rounded down. What did I just read? Wait, what did I just read again? I'm confused.
It's basically it's
as high as your Druid level.
Yep.
Divided by 3 rounded down.
So it's the CR of the monster. So if CR is 1 and your Druid level divided by 3 is 1, then you can become that monster.
Yeah, it's written again down here because over here it says starting at 6, and then down here it's at 6th level.
Yeah,
it's the same, right?
Yep.
Wait, why they copy and paste it? Okay, that's what confused me. That threw me for a loop. Elemental wild shapes. At 10th level, you can expend 2 uses of wild shape at the same time to transform into an air elemental, a earth elemental, a fire elemental, or a water elemental. I like that. 1,000 forms. By 14th level, you have learned to use magic to alter your physical form in more subtle ways. You can cast Alter Self spell at will. It's weird that you just get access to a 2nd level spell at 14th level.
I think Warlock is very, very similar to I think they get that like actually later than 14th level. You get Alter Stuff at will.
I think it's because of everything below is pretty nice. Yeah,
again, it's the 14th level ability. Like as I said, a lot of the 14th level abilities are just gonna be like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah. Femboy Moon in the DMs. I see what you did there. Crickets in the standby. Let knife read. I roll 7.
You rolled a 7. It was not high enough.
This is the subclass I have in my back pocket for when the 46 is unkind. For me, it's an A by itself. S if you multi-class because you can abuse it, and S quadruple S tier plus. At level 20 because unlimited wild shapes makes it so you cannot die like ever unless you also abuse the wild shape mechanics, but still very hard to pull off. Also, the warlock thing is for the disguise self at will, meaning that
they do get Alter Self at will. It's at a much later level.
Yeah. Was everyone talking about the rolling stats? Am I confused? And the 46 is unkind? Am I mistaken?
If you roll bad on stats, so like if for example if you roll for stats and you get like an 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and you're like, oh, my stats suck, Moon Druid, because your stats can't suck as Moon Druid.
Yeah. You guys roll for stats? I mean,
It's rough, but people do it.
yeah. Um, that was more of a joke. But yeah. So wild shape. Circle of the Moon. You get to turn to better animals, stronger animals, a lot earlier, and yeah, a lot of beasts are really cool, especially since they keep coming out with more beasts. Your attacks become magical eventually. Nice.
The warlock gets alter self at level 15.
Yeah. For level 10 ability, turning to the the elements is really cool. I love that. I love that they dabble in transforming into other things besides beasts. I don't know.
Your disabilities are overtaken by the thing. So if you're missing an arm and you become a wolf, you still have all your limbs.
Yeah. My only problem with this is how is this all fitting into the moon? When I think of the moon, I think of lycanthropy. So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of the gist of it.
yeah,
It's
turning to monsters. But where do we get
moon
elements?
has the effect of like different animals. They do that in World of Warcraft with like the night elves, because night elves worship the moon and they turn into animals. It has to do with that, like the moon equals turning into different things.
Where do we get the elements from?
That's just to buff it, because
I feel like
because the thing about D&D, right, is you have a plateau effect with beasts where it just plateaus and then spikes and then plateaus and then spikes, and then eventually the strongest animal is a CR9, and you're playing at level 20 as a CR9 monster, you're gonna get your shit kicked in.
yeah. However, I feel like a really cool thing. I do get that Moon came out back in the day. I believe it's one of the first. It's part of the SRD, right?
No, it's technically yes.
Okay, so it's one of the old subclasses. I get that it's not entirely different nowadays, but if they ever revamp this, I think a really cool idea is to take from that lycanthropy thing and allow you at 10th level ability. I know it's a homebrew statement, but I just want to put this in here. Instead of elemental wild shape, at 10th level you can add like a lycanthropy like abilities to your beast shape. So instead of turning into a boar, you're a were-boar. Instead of turning into a T-Rex, I don't know, you're a were-T-Rex. Like, you get these other kind of additional abilities playing off of the moon aesthetic, like the moon theme, you know what I mean? Like, this could be the lycanthropy druid. I think that's really cool, but that's neither here nor there. As it is right now, I do think it's pretty nice. I love transforming into creatures. It's one of my favorite things about Druid. It's why I play Druid. I love wild shape. I love the wild shape mechanic. I'm a DM. I look at the monster manual so much. I look at so many different creatures. I'm like, that's cool. Having a class and that's like, oh boy, I get to open up this big book and look at all the beasts and like, I want to be that. That's cool. I love that. And this lets me do it more.
I do think you should have been able to turn into like monstrosities and at some point like a dragon.
I can understand the problem though, because certain monstrosities have a bit issues here. You should never really turn into anything that has spells or spell-like abilities, I feel. Kinda. It's whatever. But I would like it though if you did turn into monstrosities. But yeah, the basic gist of this subclass is you like turning into animals, turn into bigger, scarier animals. Thumbs up. You say your piece.
So I haven't necessarily experienced this class, and like again, I kind of agree with everything that I'm officially saying. The class is an A by itself, but if you multi-class with it, or if you reach level 20, it's like insane, super plus tier. I don't necessarily take heart into level 20 stuff because I feel like any class, if you reach level 20, you're kind of just done. There's not really like, yeah, you can kill some of the higher monsters in the game, but I don't see anyone playing to that level ever. We barely get to 10. Like, I think we did one time. We did a one shot where we were level 11. It was like, oh, this is neat, but we never ever play long enough to get to 20. The other point that Tate made, you are a subclassless druid until you wild shape. Then the last thing, and this has always been, the Moon Druid has always been the S tier class. It's the one that everybody says is so S tier that it skyrockets over all of the other druids. That it's just so much better than everything else that the other druids look bad because the Moon Druid is so good. The one thing I will say about it is you turn into animals, and it's great that you're super tanky, and it's great that you have a lot of HP, and you can, do some hardcore damage. But we've seen it. Both of us have. A barbarian and a fighter can kill a bear. A good spellcaster can kill the room.
Yeah. I was actually looking through this. This isn't the druid that lets you cast spells while in animal form, huh?
Later levels, you do get that ability.
Oh, that's just a natural thing the druid gets.
Mhm.
Never mind then. I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's good, but when I was personally playing this class, it did have a plateau effect where certain levels are really good and certain levels are really bad. When you, I definitely think it would be an S tier to go with subclass, but the new subclasses over the years have been really good. Yeah, this class got ruined by feature creep. This class was it came out at the beginning and it was good, it was great, it was amazing. And I feel like with the stuff they gave, like I feel like everything about this class was the S tier class until Tasha's came out, and we'll get to that. But yeah, that's my thing. Is this class is good A tier. It's great. My issue with it is the plateau effect, where you turn into a bear and you're like, I'm a bear and I kick ass, and then you go on for a few levels and you don't really level up. You kind of just stay the same. And then you get that spike where you're like, I'm a polar bear. And then again, you're a polar bear for a couple levels and you just kind of stay at that point. And then eventually you're like, I'm an elemental. Like you spike so hard, but there's so many levels where you're kind of just like, I'm exactly the same thing. You get some cool spells, but the whole flavor behind the class is turning into the animals. So while everyone feels like they're leveling up, it's like, cool, you get some cool access to some spells. But unless you multi-class and you do some fun things with it, you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm a bear for 4 levels. I'm a polar bear for 4 levels. I'm an elemental for 4 levels.
Real quick,
So you get three levels power spikes, which for players 10 years. Yeah, casters get this subclass as a spell with polymorph too. Well, technically yes, but the thing is with polymorph is if you get hit, you have to make a concentration check, and if you lose the concentration, it's gone.
Also, not to mention that eventually druids get access to the spell a change shape, which is to let you become anything equal to your level.
Yeah.
So you could just become a dragon.
Who said you're poly? Well, that's the thing. If you polymorph your allies, that's great. That we have seen people polymorph other players into T-Rexes and shit like that. It has been done. But yeah, my biggest issue with this class is just feature creep. Just got it.
Yeah.
You turn into you have the ability to switch off between a classless druid or pretty much like a barbarian equivalent. You're really tanky. You've got a lot of HP. There's other animals you can turn into, but the gist of what most people tend to migrate towards are like, I'm really tanky. I've got a lot of HP and I can do some damage. Yeah, you're a barbarian. So you swap between barbarian and druid. You're very tanky. You keep yourself alive. It's great. But as for like what the druid is battlefield control, and when you're in your animal form, until you can get spellcasting, you've no battlefield control.
Yeah. It's a good class.
It's great.
It just needs an update because everything else that came after. Because everything else that came out after it needed an update. By the way, just a simple thing: if they didn't want to do like in Moon theme, dire transformation. At a certain point, you turn to dire forms. Dire creatures already exist in the game.
Yeah.
Dire T-Rex. You're stronger. You know what I mean? I feel like that was like a simple thing, but again, it was S tier back in the day and stuff, but ever since feature creep and just all these new, more powerful stuff, it just kind of got dropped down. Not that it's bad, it's just a lot more stronger stuff came out, and it's still good. Yeah. So
it is essentially that, just stronger stuff came out.
Yeah. So if we were to put this anywhere on the list, Moon, I'd say A. As for everything else that is now.
Yeah, A's good. Yeah. A's where I put it.
It's also really good for multiclassing too.
Oh, it's great for multiclassing.
Moon Circle Barbarian. Moon Circle
broken.
Barbarian. Rage Bear.
You're just broken at that point.
Raging bear hands.
And then you multiclass it with Monk. Your AC is your Monk stat now, and you're a Kung Fu Panda bear with an 18 in AC. No, I don't think so. But that would be funny.
Yeah. All right. Looking good so far. We have 3 more left. Okay,
What's
so
next?
Go for the next one. I will be picking someone different who picked the last one. So go ahead, type away. Hey,
yeah, good luck.
Hey, Volcana. I'm filming. Hey, Volcana. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream.
Spore.
Who said Moon before? That was Tape. Tape said Moon. Okay, Spore it is. Sorry, phase faster. whatever the mushroom thing is. Okay, spores druid. I oh boy, when we get the cleric. Many subclasses.
We're gonna have to break it into 2 parts.
Yeah.
All right.
Circle druid. Circle druid. Circle spores. Circle of spores druid. Mushroom. Yeah, let's go. You got this?
Who's reading? I could read.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So at first level,
Second level.
sorry, second level. Second level. I could pretty much just read the spell list off, but you do get access to spells. You get at second level chill touch, which is interesting that at second level you get a cantrip as your spell. But that does kind of make sense. I think a lot of ones that give you one at second level or third level, first level, second level tend to be cantrips, but once you hit third level, they start giving you first level spells or level spells. Second, yeah. So you don't get a first level spell. You get chill touch. And then you get blindness, deafness, general riposte, animate dead, gaseous form, blight, confusion, cloud kill, and contagion. So very much themed with being undead and blight and all that stuff. All right, Halo of Spores. You are surrounded by invisible necrotic spores that are harmless until you unleash them on a creature nearby. When a creature you see moves within 10 space of you or starts its turn there, you can use your reaction to deal 1d4 necrotic damage to that creature, unless it succeeds a Constitution saving throw against your spell DC. The damage increases to 1d6 at 6th level, 1d8, and then 1d10. All right. Also at second level.
Hold on, am I reading this correctly? It's a use your reaction to deal the damage. Okay, so it's an AoE
it's a reaction. It's a reaction. It's a constant thing. You always have it. It is invisible. If they step in your reach, you can use your reaction to give them some extra damage. But if they pass the save, they receive no damage.
Okay.
Okay. Second level. You gain the ability to channel magic into your spores. As an action, you can expend use of your wild shape feature to awaken those spores rather than transforming into a beast. You gain 4 temporary hit points for each level you have in this class. While this feature is active, you gain the following benefits. When you deal your Halo of Spores damage, you roll a second die, and then add to the total. Your melee attacks deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to any target you hit. This benefit lasts 10 minutes or until you lose all these temporary hit points or until you use your wild shape again.
Another different use of the wild shape. Pretty nice. That you were saying something?
Just a roll tip that temporary hit points do not stack.
Yeah.
Also note that if you have 1 temporary hit point and you have this feature going on and somebody casts something on you that replaces your temporary hit points, you lose this feature.
Yeah, because I believe it's just yours. It is.
It's specifically these temporary hit points.
One thing I find a bit. You gain 4 temporary hit points for each level you have in this class. It's weird that it says that and not just equal to your druid level. First off, because most things just say that.
Yeah, but again, it's just wording.
One thing I can say about this is that it's really cool, but why is it not a bonus action? Why does Stars Druid get to be a bonus action, but this doesn't?
I believe we will get there. So let's see.
Okay.
So we have an action and then we have a reaction. All right. So at level 6, your spores gain the ability to infest a corpse and animate it. If it's a beast or humanoid that is small or medium dies within 10 feet in front of you, you can use your reaction to animate it, causing it to stand up immediately with 1 hit point. The creature uses the zombie stat block. It's animated for 1 hour, in which time it collapses and dies. In combat, the zombie's turn becomes immediately after yours. It obeys your mental commands. It can only action it takes as the attack action, making 1 melee attack. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all uses when you finish a long rest. Spores gain the ability to finish. You use your reaction. So there's another reaction. So you have 2 reactions. All right. Level 10. You gain the ability to seed an area with deadly spores. As a bonus action, here's your bonus action. While your symbiotic entity feature is active, you can hurl spores up to 30 feet away, where they swirl within a 10-foot cube for 1 minute. These spores disappear early if you use this feature again, if you dismiss them as a bonus action, or if your feature is no longer active. When a creature moves into the area of the cube, starts its turn there, the creature takes spore damage unless the creature succeeds a Constitution saving throw. A creature can take this damage no more than once per turn. While the cube spores persist, you can't use your Halo spores reaction. Level 14. The fungal spores of your body alter. You can't be blinded, deafened, frightened, or poisoned, and any critical hit against you counts as normal unless you're incapacitated. Ironically, I think this is the feature, the level where it's like, that's neat. It's actually pretty decent.